All right, guys, we got the man, the myth, the legend, the Cobb County killer, Mr. I like to shoot 2 does a day, then not kill anything for a month, Mr. JD
Hey, now,
Cobb.
wait a minute.
For those who I guess didn't listen to the episode for whatever reason, JD no longer co-hosts. There is a good reason behind it. It's no drama. It's nothing. I still talk to him pretty much every day. My wife still looks at me weird every time he calls and tells me to go talk to my boyfriend. So there's that. So yeah, we're
My
still
wife does
good
the same thing.
buddies. I share deer photos with him. He sends me photos of his deer, and it's just things change sometimes. He's still part of the Southeastern bow hunter family though.
Yep.
So why don't you, just to sort of kick it off, dude? We just talked about this, but why don't you kind of give the people listening the full rundown of why you decided to stop co-hosting and go a different route?
Give the people what they want.
Exactly.
Um, so like Eric said, absolutely nothing against him. Me and him still, vibe every single day. It's honestly, to be honest with you guys and the other listeners, I don't listen to podcasts. I get extremely bored. My ADHD and ADD kick in, and I just can't do it. If I do listen to one, it's maybe 5 minutes of one, and it may be another month or 2 months before I listen to another one. I just I don't have the attention span for it. As far as the talking standpoint, y'all know I love to talk. Um, I want to talk to Eric more than he's allowed to talk. So,
Hey,
but uh,
it's family time, man.
from that, um, no, it was just I'm more physical and more uh video and watching. Like I can watch a podcast like Josh Jones, and Tim Connor. They do the fire by the fire podcast, and but they do it on video, and I could watch. I've watched every single episode of that, all the way from 0 to an hour and a half, on each episode. So I'm more of a visual guy and physical. We live in two different areas of the state, and it's a lot harder for us to do anything video wise besides these. But I still want more of a personal level, one on one with somebody, like side by side kind of concept. But like I said, we don't live in an area to be able to do that. So, with that being said, I decided to take a step back from the co-host side of the podcast. I'm still with Southeastern Bowhunter Podcast, as Eric was saying earlier, but I'm doing more of the visual side of it, more of the videoing, different reviews, broadhead reviews, arrow reviews, bow reviews, and um, pretty much working. I'm starting to work with a couple different broadhead companies. Y'all know we both have been working with BPA,
Yep.
and they've sent me a lot of stuff to test out. Way more than I even asked for. So I've got a lot of videos to do. It's been cold. I've been working till dark, so I haven't been putting anything out. I've gotten two out so far, but I just haven't had time to work on anything else. So as far as that goes, we've got. I'm not sure if Eric is going to be competing in it, but if y'all want to come out and join me, I will be at. I'm going to try this year and be at every single one of the ASA national events. Um, Foley, Coleman, Alabama, Foley, Alabama, Illinois, Kentucky. I'm going to try and be at every single one of those. Do my best on that. So if y'all want to come hang out with Southeastern Bowhunter Podcast, you're still hanging out with me and Eric both, even though it's probably just going to be me. Eric still hadn't made his mind up on that yet. I will be at a lot of the local events as well, videoing, doing all that kind of stuff. I will be at MAF this year, Mountain Archery Fest in Rome, Georgia, April 16th to the 19th. So I'll be there on that one as well. And real quick, Toys for Tots is actually doing I know it's a holiday season, so I figured I'd throw this out there. Toys for Tots, December 16th is doing a archery shoot at the Kennesaw Archery Center. You don't have to pay anything. If you just bring a child's gift unwrapped, you get to
Oh wow.
shoot the course for free. So it's going to be a good get together and for a good cause. I've had someone ask me already about the event, if you're going to win anything and stuff like that. It's like, no, it's for the kids. You're going there and you as an adult get to have fun and you get bring your kids, they get to have fun, but it's giving back to the community, giving back, something that I think we all need to start doing a little bit more of.
Yep. More
But
giving than
that's just
receiving.
yeah, but in a nutshell, it's just I'm just more focusing on the video side of it, the social media side, the Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube and putting out videos and stuff like that. It's nothing to do with Erik, nothing to do with the podcast, nothing to do with Southeastern Bow Hunter podcast itself as a company. It's just I'm still here. We are still working together on this. We are both still growing this as much as we possibly can. I just don't have the attention span for listening to podcasts, so I didn't feel it was fair to me or to y'all for me to be co-hosting something that I honestly don't even do or listen to. I do listen to hours, of course, because 90% of the time back in the past, I was on them while I was talking. So I do get to listen to hours. But it was just didn't seem fair to y'all for me to be here, as a co-host. So, but I am still here and we'll move on from that.
There you go. Heard it from the horse's mouth. And you mentioned math. I am planning on being at that for sure. I will probably try to be at the ASA event in Kennesaw. So I probably am going to renew just for that. That way
Right.
we can at least go, at least go to the state shoot if we decide to. Because I remember last year we were going to, and then we both just were like,
Yeah, yeah.
forget
Last
it.
year we both actually we went to the state qualifier. We both made the cut, and we both made it, to state. But we had something else. I think I was on vacation, that came up or something like that, and it was just didn't fall in park as far as
Yeah.
being able to get to it.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's the thing too, man, is like when you called me that, oh God, it had to have been like a month ago now. And you were like, hey, we need to talk about something. I was like, did I say something? Did I do something that pissed you off? Like what happened? And you explained everything to me. And I've never been one to force anybody to do something they don't want to do, you know? And then you mentioned to me about like doing the video side and you've been killing it. I mean, you know, when we got with VPA and you started talking with Ryan about doing the broadhead test. That I thought was a really good idea because people love watching broadhead tests. You're showing that they're literally one of, if not the best broadhead company out there when it comes to single bevels and solid, blade broadheads and even vented. They have vented, they have 3 blade, 2 blade, single, double. I mean, just everything. And,
Everything.
you
They
know,
actually have over 72 different broadheads.
yeah. And dude, I was on their website the other day just looking around and it would have been hard. I mean, granted, I know, what those broadheads will do and what they're for and my setup and all that stuff, which we'll get into, but it's hard for people when they see that many to make a decision because they're like, oh, well, what about this? What about that? So you putting those videos out, I mean, it's going to help a lot of people.
Oh
And
yeah, and the thing is about the videos too is I thought about just doing, and I was talking with Ryan about it, and I talked with you about it as well. I thought about just doing one long 3 4 hour long video on every single broadhead that they sent me, and it just people 90% of the people that I know at least are like me. They don't have the attention span to sit there and watch a 3 hour video.
yeah, we live in a
Even if
short
they are
attention
even
span
if they are
society.
visual like me, they will not watch that long of a video. It's just
Oh,
not going
yeah.
to happen.
I mean, dude, I'll tell
So
you right now, there's some podcasts that I listen to that I won't listen to on my phone just driving along. I mean, I'll go on YouTube, like you were saying, Josh and Tim. I listen
mhm.
to every single episode they put out. I don't watch them because it's just them sitting by a fire. But when it comes down to like them doing bow reviews, which we're gonna get into that too, because you and I have both shot new bows for 2024,
Yep.
and I'm pretty sure people are gonna want to listen to our opinions on those. But stuff like that, I listen to video podcasts unless it's like one of the ones, like I watched a Rompola Buck video podcast the other day. The only reason
Mhm.
I watched it is because I stumbled across it on YouTube and they were showing photos and stuff like that that I've never seen. And
Mm.
stuff like that, yeah, I will sit there for 2 hours, man. Like I've been the past, and this has nothing to do with hunting, but the past couple days, I've been doing a deep dive just out of randomness down this whole P Diddy thing that's going on. I stumbled across it on YouTube, and I've literally been watching. I know so many things that this dude did, and it's crazy. So like stuff like that, yeah, I 100% can see someone watching a 2 hour long video, but just
Yeah.
seeing two talking heads or three talking heads in two different or three different rooms, like
Right.
why watch that? So,
Right. And so that's what I've been doing with this video is I decided, like I was talking about doing a 3 4 hour long video, but then I decided, or actually you helped me make that decision. Um, break it down. What I'm going to do is y'all have probably seen two of them already. I've got one that's just an unboxing review on all the heads that they sent.
yep.
Made it quick, short, simple, and sweet. And then I did another one. I just picked a random head, had no bias against it. You know which head I started with first in the video. This is no order at all.
And which head was
But
that?
I picked up it was the solid inch and a quarter. Or no, I'm sorry, it was the solid inch and an eighth three blade.
Okay. That
Yeah,
I'm
three
interested in
blade.
that one. I'm very interested in that one.
So, but what I ended up doing or deciding on was doing a short, sweet video on each broadhead. On the sharpening side of each head, like how to sharpen them, because every single one of them is going to be different, with the exception of your three blades. Those are all going to be the same. So I cut four of the heads right out of the sharpening video just in one because they're all the exact same sharpening sequence. Um, the next one I'm going to be doing a sharpening video on is going to be the Omega, and then I'm going to do one on the one that they nicknamed the Penetrator, which is the double beveled two blade.
Mm.
Um, there's not a single bevel; it's just a two blade vented double bevel head. But they nicknamed that one online on their website as the Penetrator. So I'm gonna do a sharpening video on that one. I'm gonna do sharpening videos on the original, the OG premium S7,
Yep.
that single bevel. I'm gonna do a sharpening video on that one,
Love
and
that
then
broadhead.
the small game head that they sent me actually worked phenomenally on a little squirrel. Um, I got pissed off. I was watching the same squirrel for the past 2 hours at the feeder, and I'm like, I'm just done. So wind was swirling all the way around, and I knew there was no deer that were going to come in. And it was going from like north south, and then it switched going back southwest, and it was just swirling all over the place. So
Yep.
I said, you know what, screw this. I've been here for 3 hours. Screw it. I've been watching the squirrel for two. I'm going to go ahead and shoot a damn squirrel. So the small game head works phenomenally. I don't really know how to do a review on that one just yet. Probably I will, but I just don't know how I'm going to.
I'm sure we can figure it
But the other one, the last one, is going to be what is it? It's the turkey spur.
out. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do that broadhead. It's wicked looking. So I can't wait to show you all that. But I decided to break them down in like a sharpening sequence of each video or of each broadhead. And then I'm going to do like a test flight of each one, a tunability. How easy is it or hard is it to tune? And then I'm actually going to set up another camera that I got, halfway between me and the target. I'm going to set back at like 40 and set my camera at 20, and I'm going to do a sound difference. I don't have any crazy expensive microphones, but I'm just going to see if the naked ear and naked phone can pick up a sound difference between a solid and a vented, especially on the fixed blades.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've seen videos like that before where they kind of do something similar. And I know you hate when I say that, but I mean, everything
Oh,
that's ever
it's
been
fine.
done has been done, you know?
Yeah,
So,
exactly. It's already been done by everybody else, and
yeah.
that's another thing I was talking with Ryan about too. Is like, look, I just don't want to go get into this stuff. Just like everybody else has already done it. And he brought up a good point. He's like, well, talk about that. He's like,
Mhm.
talk about the fact that everybody else has done it, but this is VPA, and this is how you do it with a VPA. And yeah, you can go watch, a million other videos, but guess what? Here's mine. I don't really care if you watch them or not, but here's my take on it.
Yep.
And so he told me to, he advised me to, have fun with it. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing, man. Like when I was talking to, God, who was I talking to? I think actually it was when you and me were talking with Mike when we had the crossover episode, and he was asking us like, why we did this and stuff. And it's just fun, dude. I mean, we get to meet a lot of cool people, become friends with people in the industry. And it's just fun. So when you told me that you wanted to do this, I was 100% behind it because now I have more stuff to watch on YouTube. Plus broadhead videos, just to kind of focus in on that, that's literally my favorite video to watch when it comes down to like gear, aside from new bows. It's just broadhead test, because you know me. I used to switch all the time between broadheads. And now that we're with VPA and I know that we have something that's reliable, maybe it's not going to be the, 2-inch hole that everybody wants, but that deer is also not going to go more than 30 yards if you make a good shot. So I don't know. I feel pretty confident about, our partnership with them, and being, they always respond. Damn, they always respond to us. They always help us out. They spoil the crap out of us, dude. Honestly,
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
love
yeah,
those
they
guys.
do. They
And
really do.
we need to get them back on soon, just because
Yeah.
I miss them. I
Yeah.
haven't heard, or I haven't been able to talk to Ryan in a couple weeks. I've also been super busy, so
Mhm.
and they get that. They don't expect us to check in every week, and
Yeah.
that I like
Yeah.
that. I like the fact that they know, hey, we're still with you. But
Oh
we
yeah, I like the
have
fact that
our own
they're
lives.
actually commenting on some of my YouTube videos. Like, awesome stuff, man. Can't wait to see the next.
Yeah, and that's the
Yeah.
thing, man, is they
Okay, but you're the only one that watched it and commented. I'm cool.
yeah, exactly. So how is the YouTube channel going? Because why don't you drop the name? Because the names can probably get a little confusing, because you've got Southeastern Bowhunter podcast, and then you've got yours, and we both do YouTube videos. I don't put
Yep.
out as many. I think I skipped 10 episodes just because it's literally the same thing. Like I said earlier, you're just
Right.
seeing a couple talking heads and that's it. And
Yeah.
the only reason I put the most recent one out, the camo dust one, is because Chris had the camo dust cannon. He was showing you how to use it.
Hmm.
If he didn't
Yeah.
do that, I wouldn't have put it up on YouTube, because
Yeah.
the views just, I mean, on my end aren't there. But I know that yours has kind of been blowing up here lately. So
It's
what's going
been
on with
it's
that?
been doing pretty good. But it's anyway. So the YouTube is Southeastern Bowhunter TV. So there's Southeastern Bowhunter podcast, which is just some weird people talking. And then there's Southeastern Bowhunter TV, and that's like me on the YouTube doing the reviews and stuff like that. Um, but as far as the views and stuff, the subscribers, I'm still not nowhere near what I want to be. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But it has grown. As far as views, I think the first, yeah, the unboxing video, I thought it was, not going to be that great, just because it's an unboxing video. All right,
Hmm.
not, I didn't think it was going to be that high. But I mean, I'm already almost 700 views
There you go.
on that one video.
You've just started this a
I got,
month ago. I mean, that's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I've got, my bow review on my personal bow. I did the bow on the Obsession HP 33. And it's almost 400 views on that one. There's another, I think it's my sharpening video on the VPA that is it's a little bit over 300, I think. What else was it?
Because
Well,
you've been
actually,
putting hunting videos out too.
surprisingly enough, one of my other, yeah, hunting videos, one of my other uneventful hunting videos, it was the absolutely didn't see anything, didn't do
Yeah.
anything. And it's gotten the most out of all of them.
Is
It's,
that,
it's right up there, 700 as well.
is that the one you put Taylor Swift as the thumbnail?
No,
Or
that was a sharpening video.
okay,
The
that's
other
what I
one
thought.
was
I couldn't remember.
yeah,
But
the uneventful one was the big beautiful model that was shooting a bow.
I don't think I saw that one. I
Oh,
also see what you kill me with is the fact that I can't click on that when me and Jess are watching YouTube at night.
not
So
my problem.
I know it ain't your problem. I'm just saying I can't be like, oh, let's watch this, and then her look up and see
So
like
for someone else that is possibly listening to this podcast, if you are just now starting out on YouTube and your name is not huge and your industry or your business is not blown up absolutely huge, the trick that I have found is my YouTube has blown up. Use clickbait. I'm sorry, y'all. It's my thumbnails that you people see on YouTube is
well,
clickbait. I'm sorry,
it's a
but
necessary
does it
evil.
is it working for me? Yes, it is.
It's a
Whether
necessary evil,
someone
man.
whether someone fully watches it or not, it's a click. As soon as they click on it, that's a view.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's the
Once I
same
get to the
thing.
point when it blows up, then
Yeah.
I can just put my ugly mug on there and people will still be able to click on it.
It's the same thing with, like podcasting. I mean, when we did the Rompola stuff, which I'm planning on getting Andy back, because there has been a lot that he has sent me, people I've talked to that know about it. I mean, just there's a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline with that deer. But um even on YouTube, man, like this most recent episode with Camo Dust, I told Chris, I'm like, look, I'm gonna call it, I'm gonna say, episode 56, Camo Dust, learn how to beat a deer's nose. And that I'm not gonna say is clickbait, but that's something that people will see
It
and be
is.
like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm not lying, because you and I both know, that if you do Camo Dust right, you're gonna beat the deer's nose. I know people will say, "Oh, you can't beat a deer's nose." Chris told me some things that I cannot disclose. I will tell you off air, but this stuff works. Let's just put it that way. It definitely works.
Yeah.
And so I'm 100% behind him on that. And it's just the thing these days, man. Like, you're talking a 3-4 hour long video. We don't live in a society that will take that in, unless it's something like groundbreaking, right? So yeah, I mean, TikTok, I don't even have a TikTok. I'm not a TikTok fan, but TikTok has made, America at least, turn into, this short intention span or attention span, whatever it's called, society. That's just what we live in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It is.
everybody has ADHD these days.
Yeah.
I don't know
I mean,
how.
I'm right there with you. I don't necessarily agree with the whole TikTok thing.
Yeah.
Um, like the basis behind it and what it's, what a lot of people try and use it for, I don't believe in. But since I have, got on the social media train, I have gotten a TikTok account, for that's actually, listed as Southeastern Bowhunter TV.
Yeah.
But since then, I think both my, YouTube and your podcast, because I put, the actual our logo,
Mm-hmm.
in each video that I do.
Yep.
Um, so I mean, I think it's definitely helped us out. I mean, my TikTok alone has over, 1,300 followers, and I've done, I want to say 4 lives this week with different people.
Holy
Uh,
crap, dude. I didn't know you were still doing those.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Huh.
Oh yeah. Definitely still doing those,
How are
and
those going? Because
um,
I mean, I've never done.
they're going awesome, man.
Huh.
They're going really good.
You got any crazy stories from that? Like people just telling you weird stuff? Or not weird stuff, I shouldn't say that. Maybe more like good hunting stories, or, big buck stories.
Um,
Or are you literally
yeah.
just doing like what you're doing right now?
No, well, I've done what I've done right now. Just talking with people, about, bows and arrows and their setup and,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I really haven't done too much conversation wise as far as different stories, unless they bring it up and like,
Yeah.
hey, let me tell you what happened with this,
Hmm.
but other than that, I'm not like, you and say, hey, you, Mr. Stranger, what's your hunting story?
Yeah. Tell me everything I need to know about you right now.
Right.
I want
Yeah, exactly.
birthdays, addresses, social security.
Email, social. Yeah.
Yeah. Your first ex-wife's name. Like, just
Right.
all of that. Yeah, I mean, it definitely is different. And that's why I wanted to get you on here, and talk about it, because you're still in the intro. You still are the
Mhm.
first voice that the listeners hear.
Woohoo.
Yeah. And I just wanted to sort of clear it up, because I have had a couple people ask me like, "Oh man, what happened with JD? Is everything okay?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's fine. Like,
Oh yeah,
we're
we're good.
still buddies. He's still
Yeah.
part of the umbrella that this became. It's just now you're doing the video side, which I don't
Mhm.
have the time or the patience for, to be honest with you. Like, I've
Yeah.
tried. I've thought about doing, arrow reviews, or
Mhm.
just, I mean, when I kill something that's different, then obviously I take a video of it. If it's like I did
Yeah.
last year with pickles, I'll do that. But I'm
Oh yeah.
not I'm not going to stand in my front yard and be like, "Hey guys, today," and I know you're not doing that, but you know what I mean? It's just not my thing. So
Yeah.
I think what ended up happening probably was for the best as far as like I get to do what I'm used to doing. You get to do what you're interested in, used to doing. And
Yeah.
we're still working at as a team, just not co-hosting on the
We're
podcast.
still we're still building the same brand, which is our
Exactly.
brand, which is
Exactly.
Southeast Bow Hunter Podcast. And it's, you know, a lot of these podcasts that have started out, as a podcast, you see them now as a podcast on YouTube,
Yeah. Working
and
class.
then
I mean, perfect example.
yeah, and then you see them, turning into, having an actual office to go to do all this kind of stuff. I
Yep.
mean, that eventually that's where we'll probably be.
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping,
Yeah.
but we both, I think, have to work on our own individualities to bring this together and make this grow as a one unit.
Yeah. I mean, you can't, especially with your military background, you have that, you know, unit mentality. And I mean, I wouldn't say for work that we do that, but we do sometimes. I mean, at work, if I'm doing one thing and another guy's doing another thing, we'll both help each other out. And then it's a team. That's the way I look at it, is this is a team.
Yep.
So, well,
You
cool. I'm
got
glad
your
we cleared
job and
that
I got
up.
my job.
Do what?
You got your job and I got my job.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, since we cleared that up, I
All
want
right.
to
Cool.
transition into more interesting things than just
Mine's
our
bigger.
personal lives. Um, how's your season been, dude? Because I will tell you right now, that buck Curly was, which I think I told you last night, he was feeding in the field for over an hour. Did not
Mm-hmm.
leave, right? So I go
Yep.
over there today, set my stand up for Saturday, put some feed out. I've got, 2 bags of corn, so like 80 pounds. And I know some listeners are going to hear them like, oh man, that ain't hunting. I don't care. Um, also put out one of those rapid racks blocks, which has been working quite well, honestly. And this dude showed up again tonight, didn't daylight, but it was close, and was there for 45 minutes. He just left, like literally
Dang.
just left 5 minutes ago. So it may happen this weekend. I have a really good feeling about Saturday. But what is your season looking like? Because I know you've been sending us photos every single day, but it seems like it hasn't happened yet.
It hadn't, man. It's been, I get in that weird dry spell. I don't get it. This time last year, I was already, waiting on deer number 8 to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And, this year right now, I'm only sitting at 4.
That's 3 more than me.
But, yeah, it's not bad. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. My buddy Cody that works at Obsession, he hadn't gotten any this year at all yet, and he's been in the woods almost every weekend.
Damn.
But he's also one of those that's, he doesn't hunt like I do. You know,
Waits on
he's
the big
in
guy.
what I call he's a horn hunter.
He's like
So
me. I mean, I won't shoot a spike yet. Give me another month. I
yeah,
might.
no, I'm one of those. If I want the deer meat, I'm shooting it.
Yeah. I mean, it depends where I'm at. Like if I'm on my small spot, my 1 acre spot, anything
Mhm.
that shows up is gonna die, whether it's a spike
Right.
or I would say trike, but he's an Elliott now. He's got one antler, which he's looking better. He is looking
Yeah.
better now.
He
So
was looking sickly there for a little bit.
yeah, yeah. I got a photo of him this evening, and he was looking a little bit thicker. So I think it might be working. But
I think he just got really, really overstressed during the rut. He got
I
worked
would not be
hard.
shocked. They're still rutting over
So,
there too.
but
I
no,
saw him doing
as far as the season goes, yeah, I got 2 on the opener, and then I went a month without shooting anything else, and then that one was a little forky buck that I shot,
it. Mm-hmm.
and then another month went by, and I got a doe, made a bad shot,
Yeah.
first time I ever spined one. Um, but got her, and it's been, yeah, that was what, 3 weeks ago. So I mean, yeah, or no, that was Thanksgiving Day. So my
Yeah, I was
last
gonna
one
say
was
2 weeks
Thanksgiving
ago.
Day. Yeah, last one was Thanksgiving Day. So I'm, knocking on that pretty much a month apart. So if that's the case, 6 month hunting season, I'll get 6 at some point.
Hey, that's still pretty good. I mean,
Yeah,
I'd be happy with two more does and
right.
Curly. So
But yeah, I think mine have definitely, even though before Thanksgiving, I kind of gave them like a 2 week break in my
yeah,
spot. Like I didn't hunt back there at all. Um, and but even with that being said, I still think that even with that 2 week long reset, they're still patterning me. Because it every single time I go in a different route every time. They
Mhm.
never show up. And then literally the day after or that night when I walk back home, they'll be there. It's like I don't get it. Sunday evening I was out there. No, excuse me, Sunday morning I was out there.
Yeah.
Um, didn't see anything, nothing but squirrels. And then Monday, the next day, I had one of my target bucks. He's not the biggest, but he's cool enough for me. He's a big 6 point. Um, but he came out the morning and in the afternoon and stayed at night. And
Yeah.
he's just taunting me.
They've got to know. I mean, you're kind of running into the same thing I dealt with last year when I was only hunting my main spot that I've hunted literally once this year. I mean, I've
Yeah.
sat there one time, which is if you think about how many times I was there last year, it just blows my mind. But I
Hmm.
mean, you were there when we hunted. We had deer moving. The neighbor killed one. We helped
Yep.
him pull it out, but we didn't see anything. Now, would we have? Maybe. But it I feel like you're right on them patterning you. But the weird thing is if you're changing your access, it might not be an access issue. It might be the fact that you only go there on the weekends and they started realizing, okay, you know, this amount of time has passed. This weird smell, even if you're using camo dust,
Yeah.
man, sometimes walking in,
Yeah.
if you didn't do it right or say you forgot to use it or whatever, they're gonna smell you and they're not gonna show
Yeah.
up. Now,
Yeah.
I will say, I guess playing devil's advocate here, you may not be getting patterned because you had that big 8 point in front of you a month ago, and you were still having these problems before then. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so I don't know, man. They're deer are weird. They will drive you
They
crazy.
are, and they are, and that brings me around to another issue too. Is I've got, as far as on that property, it's basically, let's just say 70 acres that I
Yeah,
got permission on over there, and I've got 5 stand locations and 1 camera. So that kind of brings me around to another topic: is you want a camera to buy? I'm not running cameras next year. I'm not going to do it. I've already made my mind. I'm not going to do it. You know, it's like we talked with that guy. God, I cannot remember his name, and I feel
Michael
so
Perry.
bad for it. Yes.
Yeah,
Like he was talking about, you're hunting behind the deer if you're basing everything off of camera.
that is true.
And it's cool and it's great to get the inventory and to see what you have out there, and it is cool to see the pictures.
Hmm.
But I honestly feel that every time I go in or every time I see a deer, I think, okay, this is going to be the time, and I'm going to go in and get them, and I don't. So now I'm just, okay, I'm tired of hunting behind the deer. I'm gonna either walk in or walk around or go in a different direction or just do something. But I'm not gonna have the mindset of, oh, they're gonna come in, because then I have the disappointment, the frustration when they don't, and I don't feel like going again.
Yeah, I
It's just,
mean,
I'm not gonna hunt behind the deer on a camera lens anymore. I'm just gonna go, and whatever shows up. I don't care if I've got my inventory or not. Whatever shows up, if it excites me, the way I hunt, if it excites me, it's dead.
yeah. I to sort of play into that. I've only had two deer. One I've killed, one I haven't, but I've only had two times where using a cell cam and really going off of that has worked. So you might
Mhm.
be onto something. Now, my argument to it is, well, what if you just go somewhere and that's not where the deer are at? But at the same time, if you go in, scout, say you hunt one evening, right? And you're scouting on your way in and you're like, oh, there's some rubs over there. Okay, I'll go there tomorrow. Or say you hunt there again and you decide to scout a little bit, going
Yeah.
in. I mean, your deer at this point, like kind of where they're at anyway.
And I
And
think that's where that does kick in. If you have a piece of property and you've got cameras on for the past, 3 or 4 or 5 years, whatever, and you know what's around and how they're moving and how they're using your property, you you stand a better chance not running a camera.
Yeah.
Now, if you're like brand new into the hunting and you don't even know what's on the property, by all means run a camera. Figure out what you're doing, figure out what you got, figure out who's out there, when they're out there, how they're moving, how they're using your property, and spend the time with them.
Yeah.
You know, what I'm doing is not going to be for everybody and it's not going to help everybody. But me, in my situation, I think because I do have a history on my property, I'm hurting myself and my property by being out there as much as I am, just solely based off of camera. Do I need to do better as due diligence as far as me personally scouting and me watching how and how quick and how often I go in there? Yes, I do. But I think me scouting it more will help, like you were talking about, will help my hunt situation better than just trying to solely base it off of camera.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
that's why I'm pulling my cameras next year. Not anything against Scout Tech, because you know we have Scout Tech.
yeah.
Not anything against them. I will still promote them 120%. You know, and I will still help talk to people and get them in the door with Scout Tech because Scout Tech is coming up with some more stuff that later on down the road that we can't talk about just yet.
Yeah.
But
I always say it in the intro, man. And I hate it because I'm waiting for Ryan to be like,
yeah,
"Oh, dude, you can talk about
I know, I
it."
know. But he is such a good guy, man. He is just. I was talking with him last week. That group of guys, him, his brother, and his dad, all that run Scout Tech, are phenomenal.
Oh
And I
yeah.
will never not back or be with Scout Tech. Whether just because I'm not running a camera does not mean I can't be with them.
Yeah. I mean, you can, the thing is, you can always, you can put a camera out there in like one, kind of like what you're doing right now in one spot. So at least you know what's around. You know what I mean? And then you don't even have to put it in a spot you'd hunt. You could just find a deer trail and be like, all right, I'm putting this here, or find a scrape and put it there. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you
And
have to.
I think I may transition into that because where I've got it now is a spot that I hunt.
Exactly.
So I'm basing it off of okay, they were there last night, they should be there tomorrow night,
Yeah.
and going out there and sitting and not seeing anything. But
For
I
you,
think if I put it in a different spot that I'm not hunting,
yeah.
it will still, yes, it'll still give me my inventory of what's around, but it's not going to give me that mental pressure on my hunt spots.
Are you looking at real time data? Are you looking at like, so
Yeah,
say
yeah,
Ian shows up right now, right? Or showed up this morning in daylight. Are you
yeah.
looking at what the weather and all that is?
I'll get on. I'll check out the weather,
Okay.
the pressure, and I'll do all that. The cloud cover,
Okay.
the moon phase, the wind direction. Yeah, I do all that on each time I get a picture.
Okay. Because the thing I've noticed, and this was just, me being new to it a few years ago and not knowing what I was doing, but I would get a picture of a deer, like a good deer. This is probably the biggest deer I've ever tried hunting. And he would be there, right at daylight. I mean, we're talking 2 minutes before the sun comes up. So you're going to be able to see. And man, I didn't think about, oh, what was the wind doing? What was the pressure? What was the temperature? What was, all of this stuff? What direction did he really come from? What caused him to be there at that time? I didn't think about any of that. And now I haven't, I mean, literally, like I said earlier about that, the main private spot that I went to last year that I've only gone to once this year. I haven't gone because either the days that I could hunt, it's not a good condition, or the movement's been down. And, I hear one thing from the neighbor saying, oh, I'm seeing them all the time in the evening. I'm not seeing anything. So
Mhm.
why? Why is that? Did I do something last time I was there? There's so many
Yeah,
things to it, and on one hand, I enjoy that because it's fun being able to, really dial into this deer. Say I'm hunting tank or curly or whoever. It's fun to do that because they're around. On the other hand, it sucks because you kind of are like talking yourself out of going, and you never know, dude. Like deer don't always, they are creatures of habit, but they're not always going to do the same exact thing every single time. So that's why I was asking you, you know, if you see them in the morning or you see them in the evening and you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go this day and they're going to be there. And then they're not there. Well, something caused them not to be there. Whether it's you bumped them walking in, whether it's the winds shifted, or they just didn't feel like being there. So
right.
I think your approach is good, but I also think that don't swear off all cameras. Just put the Scout Tech camera out there on a deer trail you're not going to hunt.
Yeah.
Or really, what you could do, and honestly, this is what I would do. If you're able to find the bedding, like walk through and
Hmm.
just find their bedding, get that camera in there. Obviously, don't do it right now because you'll totally blow them out, but get that in there and then set it up to where you're able to see, okay, these deer are bedded in here, or, you know, say it's the does or say it's Ian or something, and they're coming in every couple days, kind of like what Lee did when he killed that 215.
Hmm.
He knew when that deer would be in there, and there was only one way out and one way in. So if you can find a way to make that happen and then hunt the edge of that, it might work. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
food for thought.
Yep.
um,
All right.
okay,
So moving
so
on from that, what else you got? Equipment. What you changing? What you running? What are
oh
you doing
man,
next year? All this other kind of stuff. What's up?
dude, it's like you and I are on the same wavelength here. Well, before we get into my changes that are going to be happening
Mm.
and that have already happened, um,
Some of mine have already happened too.
yeah, talk about. I don't really want to have you compare them. Talk about the Matthews lift that you shot, because that that particular bow, I've been hearing a lot of hype, and I know Josh and Tim just dropped a couple, videos and episodes on that. I haven't listened to them yet, but
Hmm.
what was your opinion on that bow? Like, is the hype real, or is it kind of overplayed?
My opinion. So before they even released it, like a week before they released it, they had a little teaser video. It said 32 years in the making.
Yep.
It's all this other kind of stuff. All right. Well, after shooting it and then remembering that video, whatever they figured out in 32 years, I don't know why it took them that long to figure it out, but they finally figured it out. It's just I've I've shot Matthews, plenty of Matthews, the Phase 4, the VXR, the TRX. I've shot 4 or 5 different, the Halon 32, the old switchback. I've shot plenty of Matthews. None of them I've owned just because I didn't want to. I They always shot like crap to me, to be honest with you. I
In
never
what
liked
way?
how they felt.
Like what
I never liked how
about
they
it?
felt, and every person can pick up a bow and it feels different to them. But in
Mhm.
my hand, the Matthew, the grip being extremely low on the riser, a lot of top weight, I didn't like it. Um, the way the way that their cams were, it was a good draw cycle, but it had a really, really big harsh dump in the
Mm,
valley.
okay.
Now this is all my opinion.
Yeah.
And they just at the after shot, the vibration in my hands, in my opinion, the vibration was crazy. No matter how many damn stabilizers or whatever you put on there, the
Mhm.
vibration would not go away. Now, that being said, the new lift, I went and shot it up in Tennessee when I was on vacation. My wife was about to kill me, but there was a shop up there that was a
Uh, hold on. Can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm here. You there?
Okay. Yeah, yeah. What were you saying? You
All
cut
right,
out.
I had a phone call coming in. My bad.
Ah.
Um, but they had a shop up there in Tennessee. My wife was extremely mad with me because we were on vacation. I said, "Look, honey, it's only gonna take me 10 minutes. It's a Matthews dealer. I just want to go see what they figured out that they claim, they took 32 years to figure out."
Hmm.
The riser, or not the riser, but well, yeah, let's talk about the riser first. The riser is the longest riser on that short of an axle to axle bow that they make. Um, that helps with your stability. They did borrow some other technology as far as the axles being on top of the limbs from other companies
Hmm.
that have already done that. Um, that makes it extremely stable. Because of them running the axle on top, they're able to run a wider and thinner profile RDS limb. The one with the 8 limb system. with the rubber in between. I can't remember. It's the RDS, but I can't remember what the something dampening system something. I can't remember what the R is. But anyways, it allows them to run a thinner limb, wider limb, axle on top, longer riser. The grip is actually moved up in the riser, so it's not as far down. Um, a completely new cam, still using the top hat system and all that, but it's a completely different cam. So it's in essence completely different top hats, but it's the same system. Um, that bow, I shot the 29 and a half. They offer it in a 29 and a half axle to axle and a 33-inch axle to axle. I chose for a hunting standpoint, I chose to try the 29 and a half. It held like I was holding a 38-inch target bow with no stabilizers. It drew like I was drawing a 50-pound target bow.
Hmm.
Um,
And it was set at
and
70.
it was set at 70 with a 28-inch draw, everything and he actually had the 85% let off on it, a top hat system on it. Because you can get them in at 80% as well, but it's also, again, it's a completely different top hat system.
Yeah.
So it's not just like a little modular change like on some of these other hybrid cams. But it's an actual completely different axles, shims, top hats, all that kind of stuff to
Yeah.
be able to lock that, one set measurement in. So yeah, it was set on 2870 with 85% let off on it. And the first of all, the back wall, when you're at full draw, the back wall felt like I was going to break the strings in half just to get it to move a half inch or a quarter inch. It was solid like an elite.
Yeah.
Once you released and let go, the vibration on it was less than my bow, but it was still there.
Well,
But
of
it was,
course.
it's still there. It's an aluminum bow. It's going to have vibration. And for anybody else who wants to try and argue with me on it, go shoot an aluminum bow and then go shoot a carbon bow. The carbon bows vibrate more.
Oh yeah, they definitely
It's
do.
crazy.
When you have to think,
But
you
yeah,
shot it
it
without
was
the stabilizer, so of
exactly. I
course you're
shot it.
gonna have
It was There was no sight, there was no quiver, there was no
it
stabilizer.
was a
It was just
literal
a
bare bow.
bare, yeah, and all I had on it was a rest, and that's it.
Yeah.
Now I will give it to Matthews as far as their rest. You know, Bear, Bowtech, anybody anybody else. You buy a bow, if it does come with a rest, if it does, it's going to come with a whisker biscuit.
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah, no, this one comes with the HDX,
QAD,
badass
yeah.
dropper. Yeah, it comes with the top of the line integrate QAD. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about Matthews, man, is like I've never shot one. It's probably the only out of the top three, like the big three, the only one I've never shot or drawn back. Um, and I was like, I mean, I'm not the type of person that's going to spend $1,500 on a bow. Personally, I don't think you need to spend that. I mean, we'll get into the bow that I'm looking at, and it's less than half of that, but it's, in my opinion, still going to perform where I want it to, close to the same as the new Matthews. The only thing about the new
Hmm.
Matthews is when you get that bow, you know for a fact that it's not just like a stamp. Like you're
Yeah,
not just getting a mold that they stamp out. And I know that's not how they make them, but that's just the simplest way I can describe it. But
yeah, yeah.
it's that it's a good product. And that is one thing, listening to what you said, listening to what Josh and Tim have said, um, a lot of people that are shooting that bow, like Chris B and Seek One and all of that, I I was sold. I just can't and won't spend the money to get one. So when you said that you shot it and you I forgot what I called you, but you basically said you wanted to buy one.
Hmm.
Dude, I would love to see you have one of those. But at the same time, and I'm gonna ask you this as your buddy, getting a bow like that, I mean, you're not one of those people that thinks, oh, I need to have this high end bow to be a better bow hunter, right?
No, no.
Okay.
I mean, because you got to think the obsession that I'm shooting now, the MSRP on that bow is $700. That's it.
Yeah.
$700 bow.
Shit. I think it's less than that.
It may be. It
Yeah.
may be. So it just goes to show you. I mean, you can go out there and get, a diamond or whatever that's, a $300-400 bow.
Hmm.
And as long as you are proficient and you are accurate and you are, either self-taught or taught or something,
Yeah.
once you get the experience behind and that bow becomes part of you, it doesn't matter if it's a $300 bow or a $2,000 bow. It
Yeah.
does not matter.
I mean, look at last year I was shooting the blackout and tree. Now you can get
Mhm.
them for $250.
Yep.
It killed pickles, and it can
Yep.
kill more deer. I mean, I don't.
Yep.
That's the
And
biggest
you
thing.
you qual you qual well no you qualified with the bear, didn't you?
Yes,
Okay, but okay,
I
there you go.
still could
Still a
have done it with
bear
the blackout.
paradox. Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
The thing I think people really need to understand and hear is because we know guys that will get new bows every single year. It's
Mhm.
like a hobby for them, and I just don't understand it because I mean, I guess to sort of transition a little bit into the one that I probably am going to get. Um, I went to Roots Outdoors in Jackson on Saturday, and I reached out to them, was like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna upgrade after this year." They're a bear dealer, and I'm a big bear archery
Yep.
fan. I always have been. It's the only bow I've ever hunted with. Because the Blackout and Tree is literally just a rebranded Bear Legit. Um,
Yep.
so I hit him up and was like, "Hey, do y'all have the Whitetail Max? I want to come shoot it. I'm trying to decide which bear model to get." Um, I asked them if they had the Alaskan or the Alaskan XT. All they had was the whitetail. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, I'll come up there and shoot it. So I go up there, and guys are super cool. I mean, if anyone's looking for a good shop, it might be a drive, but it's worth it. Um, I walk in, tell them what I'm there to do. They remembered me, which is big because a lot of these bow shops, you hit them up and then they're like, oh, okay, cool, 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 and they don't kind of like have that relationship with you.
Yep. Yep.
So me and the kid were talking, and I was like, yeah, I just, I want to shoot it at 70 pounds, 28 inches. I want to see what this is about, because this bow, I think if you get the ready to hunt package, it's like $6.99. And then if you get the bear bow, it's $5.99. So obviously I would get the bear bow. I don't need all that extra stuff. He set it up, drew it back. Now I'm not going to lie. I haven't shot a 70-pound bow in a few months. I'm too
Yeah.
used to 60 and single cam. It's totally different than a dual cam. Um,
Yep.
so I draw it back, and I struggled a little bit at the back end, but the front end was butter. I mean, it felt great. So I was able to get it back. The one thing I'm not
Did
gonna
that one have a
say
6 or 7 inch break height?
6.5.
6.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I draw it back, shoot the arrow, super quiet. Now Andy was with me. Andy, Andy met up with me up there because he wanted to grab some stuff, and Alicia wanted to get some stuff. And so he was there, and he's like, the first thing out of his mouth, I don't even say anything yet. First thing he says is, "Damn, that bow's quiet." Which for a $600 bow, that people, some people look at bear and they're like, "Oh, that's just a poor man's cheap bow,"
Right.
which it's not.
Right.
Um, there's something. I basically what I'm getting at is that's probably the bow I'm gonna get because I drew it back a second time and it was fine. The only thing, and it was set on 70 pounds, 28 inches, and 85% let off. So, with the paradox, I don't really like how when you pull it back and it drops into the valley, it literally drops. I've kind
Mhm.
of gotten used to it, but I still am not a huge fan of that. That bow is on 85%, right? Or is it 80? I can't remember.
What bow?
The paradox.
85.
Okay. So they
Yep.
had this bow set on 85. The only thing I didn't like was when I drew it back and it dropped in the valley, it like dropped in the valley.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
it has 70 to 90% let off. It's got the EKO cam. So
Mhm.
that's not a deterrent for me. And the boat
Right.
shoots way faster
Yeah.
than my Paradox does. So I did the math and I watched some videos and all that stuff. And with our arrow setups, which we're probably about to get into, um,
Mhm.
I'll be shooting just as fast as you now, which is good because yeah,
Yay!
I know, right?
Woo!
Not that speed matters because I mean look at the hunting public, dude. They're shooting single cam bows that are 310 FPS and they're still blowing through deer. So,
Mhm.
we can
Yep.
get into that. But no, I mean the Whitetail Max, I honestly would say is probably the best bow I've ever shot. And I have shot the Hoyt Torex. I shot whatever Hoyt it was that David had. What was it? The
You got that Venom, the VTM 34.
yeah, yeah. And no
Yep.
knocking Hoyt, but dude, I hated that bow. I
Yep.
didn't like how blocky it felt. Now, the only other thing about this bear that I will say is the riser, or not the riser, the grip, very skinny, very skinny. Wasn't a huge
See,
fan.
that's where me and you differ. I like it. I take the grip off and I'm just straight on the
Yeah,
riser.
I wasn't a fan of it. But I talked to the guys. I was like, hey, do y'all have that bear paw grip? And they were like, yeah, you can get it. I was like, well, how much is it? And they're like 10, $20. So again, fix right there. So I'm probably gonna end up getting a bow from them. Um, I might we'll see. I might wait until they get the Alaskans in because the Alaskan is supposed to be a little bit better. It's a 30, I think it's a 33-inch axle to axle. The Whitetail Max is 31. But again,
Okay.
I like a shorter axle to axle because it's more versatile on
Right.
blades. So
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm actually going to have Dylan from Bear Archery on the podcast this coming Monday. When this episode drops, we will be recording that episode that
Nice.
night. So we're gonna deep dive into all of it. He's gonna tell me stuff
Good.
that I probably don't even know, and
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that. But so you mentioned something earlier about arrow setups.
Hmm.
So what did you? And I mean, I know what it is because we're both shooting pretty much the same thing. But what did you what did you change up this time? Because I feel like you've gone through arrows probably 4 or 5 times.
Uh, well, I mean, yeah, I change those about as often as I change underwear. So yeah, that's about right. Let me go grab one.
And for those who don't know, JD does not change his underwear every day. It is usually every 2 to 3 weeks. He is a
Yep.
lineman, so I'm just kidding.
Pretty much. That's it.
So what are you rocking now?
I figured out that the not changing the underwear thing, it has a film buildup in the underwear. It keeps you warmer.
Oh, that's disgusting. Anyway,
Yep.
um,
Anyways, so what I'm running now is actually a, what do they call it? Big box store arrow. But I found out it is a relabeled fancy arrow,
mhm.
um, just based on the specs of it. So what I've got now
Tell them what
is the Blackout SX3 Hunter.
look at that.
It is their 5 mil. I've got a 60 got a 60 grain stainless steel insert with a 125 grain broadhead. I'm running the knocks that come factory with them. Actually, I was getting knock pinch on.
Mhm.
It's the boning X knock or A
Yeah,
knock.
no, it's the S knock.
Is it the S knock for the five
Yeah.
mil? Okay.
Oh no, for the
Well,
5 mil.
no,
Um,
it's the A knock, I think. The
I don't
boning A
remember.
knock.
I change them, so I honestly don't know.
Yeah, so I was running the factory knock, and I was getting knock pinch. So instead of changing my D loop to that, I decided to change the knock. So I'm actually running a Black Eagle, Black Eagle R knock.
No, geez.
So I've got that in there. It slipped in there perfectly, and I have zero knock pinch now. Um, but yeah, so it is 8.8 GPI, and it's cut 26 and a half carbon to carbon, 60 grain stainless steel half out or insert, whatever you want to call it,
Hmm.
125. I'm right at total arrow weight is 450.6 on the entire, all six of them are exactly the same.
Gotcha.
I actually just ordered some more last night. That way I can have a full dozen and get them ready for ASA and math and all that stuff.
Now, are you hunting with these
So
arrows?
I will be. I'm still in process of. I actually just set up my other site, my new single pin slider site. I shot a group tonight. Got my group hitting. You saw the picture. I
Yeah,
got my
yeah.
group, hitting good. But then I went back and looked at my site, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't even have my second, third, or first axis adjusted at all. So I've got to completely resite in again because I just changed that right before I got on the phone here. I redid my second and third axis and first axis, all that. I found out how to do it at the house. I'll do a video on that at some point. Um, but I just redid all that. Tonight, my new lens, I'm running a lens this year. My lens came in.
Getting
So
old,
I
man.
put that on. So I know. So I'll have to restart in again tomorrow, but now I can actually, once I get that done, I'll be able to, but yes, that is the plan, is to hunt with them as well as do my ASA and math and all that stuff.
So, are you going to get them refletched because those come right offset, and you're running a left bevel?
They will be
So,
reflexed.
okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to check.
Yeah. Once I get all 12, I'm going to take them all in there and have them all reflexed.
Okay.
So,
Hell yeah.
but yep, it
Glad you
is
joined the five
they
mil
are.
family.
Yeah, I am too. It is I don't know if I said it already, but it's a relabeled the Victory Rip.
Yep. Yeah. So what's
Yep.
funny to me about that is when I went to Roots, I picked up a couple Victory Rip TKOs. Because
Mhm.
I talk to Kurt from Working Class quite often now, and they push Victory. I've always been a huge Victory fan. I've wanted to shoot the Rip TKOs for quite a while, and I just said to hell with it. I'm gonna get some. So I'm honestly, we're shooting pretty much close to the same arrow because I'm running, 26 carbon to carbon, um, 21 grain lighted knock, left helical, extreme helical, A hybrids, the mountain ops versions.
Mhm.
Because I know Working Class was doing stuff with mountain ops, so I figured I'd try to, support that. Um, I think I'm running a 50 grain half out up front, which those half outs, the Victory mix, are cool as crap, dude. I don't know what they do, but it like
Only
locks the
problem I've
broadhead.
ever heard about those is if you're in a target. The only problem I've seen is or heard about is when you're coming out, because that little weird rippling on the outside of it is like
Yeah,
ribbed for her pleasure. I'm not real sure what that is, but it seems to me like it would get hung up a little coming out.
yeah. I haven't really had any issues with that. More than you would, oh my god, more than you would with like a broadhead, because I shoot with a practice broadhead.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
so I haven't really noticed any problems. Um, but yeah, I mean, we're both running 125 grains up front. It's kind of funny how, you know, and I know I've said this on other episodes, but our arrow setups seem to change through season, through the off season. I'm sure that one
Yeah.
of us is going to be shooting 500 grains by next season, especially with the bows we're going to be shooting. Um, I mean, I've even thought about
Yeah. I mean,
reaching out to
I
Ryan.
was at 500 grains just last week.
Yeah, and that's what's funny to me about it
So.
is like, you know, I texted you guys saying, "Oh, I just picked up some TKOs. I'm at 450, which is kind of where I've been the whole time. I think I was running like 460 with my Black Eagles.
Hmm.
And the
Yep.
only thing about the Black Eagles, man, that and I'm not knocking them. It's just we talked to Chris um, from Southern Bones, and he mentioned something to me about how they used to shoot it, or they used to shoot Black Eagles, and they had a few of them break on them. And I didn't think anything of it because I mean I've broken arrows before. They break. They're gonna break. But
Yeah.
when we did the podcast shoot, I literally had two arrows completely just, you know, one of the nocks broke and then the end of the shaft broke. I had another end of the shaft break in a different target and I wasn't hitting anything hard. I'm convinced that doe that I didn't get any penetration on, the shaft broke. I haven't found it, but it's the only thing that makes sense. even where I hit her, I still should have deflected and at least gotten into, the chest cavity.
Yeah.
So I don't know,
At
man.
that same podcast too, I had two of them break. I had two more of them break at the house and a Target. So yeah, I'm right there with you. But the thing is, you were running the Rampages, I was running the Carnivores, but we still had the same problem.
Yeah.
So
And
it's not just like, oh, I was running the Carnivore, so of course they're going to break because I'm running a lighter GPI. Da, 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 da. No, we're
yeah,
both running Black Eagles,
yeah.
completely different arrow setups, and they're both breaking.
That to me, the GPI thing, I mean, you definitely need to pay attention to it, but I think that anywhere between like 7.9 to about where we're at, 8.8 or 8.9, I guess. I think that's kind of the happy medium, because if you go any
Hmm.
heavier, with like a lot of what, Carbon Express and Easton will make, um, you can do that. I've got a buddy of mine right now shooting FMJs, and I keep telling him he needs to get off that. And if he wants to shoot Easton, they make, I mean, hell, we had Gary on. They have a bunch of different arrows you can shoot. They just came out with a new 4 mil. And I told him, like, bro, I will give you the 4 mils that I have if you want to use them. Um, and I was actually planning on using those. I still might use those either for hunting or, just to tinker around with. But
Right.
something about Victory, man. I really want to reach out to them. I might actually talk to Kurt about it tomorrow and see if I can't get in touch with them, because something about Victory, they're good. What?
We can touch on that a little bit later.
Okay. Whatever. Be cryptic. Um, but yeah, man, I'm a big fan of what Victory's doing, and the stuff they've come out with. I really want to try the what are they called? The Carbon SS or the VAP SS.
Hmm.
Those seem like they would be some really solid arrows. So I don't know.
I
I'm
want
not
to try.
trying to
I
knock.
want to try the XVs.
Yeah,
I want
shoot,
to try the
I'll shoot
XVs
any of
just to
them.
see how much faster it really is. I know it's going to break, but it's only a 7 GPI.
Yeah.
But I just want to see how much faster it really is.
Well, I might know a guy. I might be able to set that up. But I do want to say we're not knocking Black Eagle,
No,
because they are a good
no,
company. They do make a good product. It's just what we've, because we have no affiliation with them. We've talked with them a couple
right.
times, but I I just I don't want to go in the woods, thinking, oh, this might break and I might lose this deer. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
Yep.
that's just sort of my complaint with it. We did switch up and change it. So I don't
I
know,
got
dude.
something
I
else
mean, we're
that I
just gonna,
changed up too.
huh?
So I got something else that I changed up too.
Oh God, what is it? Oh, pulled the bow out. What, your stabilizers?
How long that song baby. Yeah.
God, you know what's crazy to me, and I haven't done it. I need to, and I
Mm.
may do this when I get the bear. I haven't run a sidebar.
You don't know what you're missing, buddy.
I guess I don't. I'm just gonna have to wait
Don't
and
know
see
what you're
what that
missing.
bow feels like.
But yeah, I'm running a now I've switched it. I've got a uh 12, I think this is the 12. Hold on.
Yeah, it looks like a 12 and
Yeah,
on the back end.
12 on the back and 15 in the front. Yeah, AAE hot rods, both of them, Conquest Archery, sidebar mount.
Hell yeah, dude. So what speeds do you think you're gonna be shooting with that new setup? Because you and I both, I think my total arrow weight's like 446. You said yours is 450. What
So the last time I put it through a chronograph, let's see, the first time I put it through a chronograph, she was at 468 total arrow weight. This is when I first got the bow.
mhm.
It was a 468, and she was running 280.
Damn.
Um, And with the 500s, she was running 273, 274. Um, but now that I'm running a 250, I'm thinking 283, 284.
250.
I mean, 450.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. I was gonna say, damn.
No,
Speed
450
demon
total
over
air
here.
weight.
Just dropping everything.
I think it should. Yeah, no, I think it should be somewhere around the 282, 283 range.
You think so?
I mean, I was at 280 with a 468, and I dropped
Yeah.
18 grains. I should be going up. Maybe. All right, I may be up at 285.
Have you shot? I mean, when you shot those arrows, I guess you probably haven't. You haven't shot those Benny broadheads yet, have you?
No,
Okay.
not yet. I've had so many issues getting the new sight worked in that
Yeah.
no, I haven't shot broadheads yet.
Okay. When you do, let me know because Joe from Osseo did a video like 2 or 3 years ago. Um, he likes to be around 300 foot per second. How he does it,
Hmm.
I have no idea because he's shooting a 460 grain arrow at I think 29 inches of draw and 70 pounds. I don't know what bow he's got. I think it's a Hoyt. But either way, he likes being around 300. And one thing he mentioned, and I can see this because you and I both know how arrows and stuff works. I can see with a fixed blade you having some tuning issues if you go too fast.
Yes,
So when you
yes.
do shoot with those, let me know how that is. I mean, I won't be anywhere near 280 or 290. I don't think. I think I might be somewhere in the ballpark of like 275, which I'm perfectly fine with.
All
But
the research I've ever done, you don't have that issue unless you're over 300 feet per second.
okay, see, and that's what Joe was saying.
That's when you start having the tuning issue.
Yeah.
Now, like Tim Gillingham, he can't run a fixed because he's got a 31 and a half inch draw and he's running an overdraw.
Oh wow.
His competition arrows, or no, I'm sorry, his hunting arrows are going 325. I watched the reason he's running that overdraw is because he can't tune with such a long arrow. So
Mm,
he's running the overdraw system, which is, it's a bracket that goes on the back side of the riser to give
mm.
you your rest closer to your string, so you can run a shorter arrow.
Man,
That's what he has to do. So because he's able to do that, that's why his hunting setup. I watched a video on it last night. It was running 325,
that's insane,
but he cannot run a fixed blade. He has to run mechanic.
dude. That's literally crossbow speeds.
That's IBO speed out the bow, out the
Yeah,
bow. Yeah,
that's insane.
yeah.
That's 325. So I mean, for the people that don't know, and I mean, you and I both know, and I'll let you explain it, but like what causes the, I guess with a fixed blade, what is the reason why you can't shoot that fast? Is it planing? Is it,
It's
I
plane
mean,
deviation.
okay, see
Yeah,
that's, yeah.
yeah. It's your plane deviation because of the size of the broadhead and how much it will deflect in the air. And actually, it's like you've seen a jet do a sonic boom before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that huge vapor trail of mushroom cloud that it puts out behind it. It Broadheads aren't designed to go that fast through the air.
Fixed
You're
blade.
going from fixed blade. You're going from dead stopped on the rest to over 300 feet per second. That's a lot of air moving around the arrow
Yeah.
surface because it's having to get split around, the broadhead.
So what if you, and this is just pure speculation on my part, just a question. I'm pretty sure I know the answer to it. I've never tried it, obviously, but I think I know what the answer is. What if you took a three blade, a three blade fixed and lined it up with the vanes? That way you've got one singular, I guess, wind tunnel rather than, like me, for instance, where I, I don't have to screw I don't have to line them up. I can just screw that broadhead on as much as I want if it's a three blade, and I'm good because I'm only shooting 240 foot a second. If you line those vanes and the blades up, do you think that that could help, or is there still too much wind disturbance in the front end that it's just not going to work?
If you go to Walmart and pick up a pack of Swacker 252 fixed blades and turn the package over,
Mm-hmm.
It actually explains to you how important the blade indexing is on a broadhead. Um, that way it comes off the bow spinning the correct way that's in line with your fletchings and all that stuff. So whether you're shooting 120 or 320, I all my fixed blades are straight in line with my fletchings.
Yeah.
You gotta index them.
So what about the two blades we use? You can't do that because we have three fletchings.
No, you can't do that with a two blade. But the only thing I do with a two blade is I do make sure it's either in the 12 o'clock or 3 o'clock position. I don't want it at 11, 6, 5, 4. I want it
Yeah.
either at 12 or 3. That's it.
See, and that's man, that's I feel like where we sort of deviate is because I've never noticed any issue. And I've shot
And
50
typically you
yards.
won't, typically you won't unless you are doing like tack distance with a
Okay.
with a broadhead.
See, and that's what I wanted to get at is because obviously when we're doing those shoots, we're not shooting with any type of broadhead. It's just a field point.
Right.
Um, yeah, man. I just wanted to ask you about that because I just don't. You hear things, and we are not going down this rabbit hole, but you hear things in the industry, and it's kind of like,
Mhm.
you know, is that true? Is it not true? You try to
Right.
test it. Sometimes it comes
Right.
out true, sometimes it doesn't. And it's just
And
like,
another thing you can do too to fix that problem if you are starting to have, some severe deviation,
yeah,
with the plane deviation with the too big of a broadhead. It sounds silly, but go up in spine.
I could see that because you don't have as much
Go up in
flex.
spine, you'll exactly
Yeah.
less flex will cause less deviation.
So
Yeah.
what FOC percentage are you running now?
I am running right at 18.
Okay, so we're about the same then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that, which makes sense because you have a 10 grain heavier insert. How are you at
Mhm.
450? How are you at it's got to be the fletchings because those fletchings are the Raptor fletchings, right? That are on it.
No, they're the whatever I think they're the boning ones.
Are you sure? Do they say what? Did
No,
they say anything on them?
no,
Okay, yeah, those are the Raptors then.
okay,
Yeah, because that's what Victory puts on their stock arrows. Like if you buy a 6 pack of fletched up
okay.
arrows, they have Raptors just with victories on them or with
It's
victory
the
on.
so it's the Q2I Raptor range.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Bolts it does
Six
it.
point 6.1 grains for or 6.1 grains or
Yeah, and see, no, I
18.3.
think I'm pretty sure. Oh, maybe I'm wrong actually, because yeah, you know what? I think I'm wrong. Let me take that back. I'm pretty sure that they are. Oh well, no, because they're Q2I. Yeah, I don't know. Last time I checked, when I weighed those veins on the victories that I bought, they were 7 grains each. And then I
Okay.
dropped, which makes sense because when I bought that arrow and just built it, I didn't shoot it, I just built it. I weighed it with, the 125 grain field point. It was 450, like same exact weight you've got, 450.6.
Yeah.
Um, when
Yeah,
I,
I'm not really sure as far as how and why. I built or I had them cut. I put everything on it. I glued everything. I did all the gluing and everything myself, but I just had them cut it. Um, I put it on the scale. Every single one of them is 450.8.
you know what it probably is? You're not using a lighted knock, and I am.
Yep.
That's probably it. That would
Yeah,
make sense.
I've only got a 9 grain knot.
And I've got a 21 grain knock. So you're talking 12 grains. That okay.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense. It just didn't make any sense at first when you were like, "Oh, I've got 450." I'm like, "We're shooting the same arrows though, with
Yeah.
the same insert, except mine's 10 grains lighter. How the hell are you only four grains away?"
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Because
I mean,
I've got a 10 grain heavier on the front and you're running 12 grains heavier in the back.
so it makes sense. So I'm probably at about 16% while you're at 18.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it doesn't jump that far. I think you're around 17 and a half. It really does. It takes a lot to make it move.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know. I just went on the podium archer stuff and went off of that. I haven't actually
And
tested.
see, that's the other thing too, is you've got to give yourself a 5 grain cushion window from what Podium Archery says, because none of these other arrow calculation websites take in consideration of glue.
Yeah, I have, dude. I've noticed that. It's funny you bring that up. I've
Get
tested it.
get because my podium archer says mine are 445 and I'm at 450
Yep.
because of my glue.
You know what's really bad about that is earlier this past summer when I was building arrows, I want them a little bit heavier. Because I think I had some. I think my Eastons, yeah, my Eastons were at like four. Oh man, what were they like 428, right? And I wanted at least above
Mhm.
430. I got them to 435 by putting more glue on the
Yep.
fletchings and
Yep.
on the inserts. And I mean, hey, you find weight where you can find it. You know, I mean,
Yep. Yeah.
I don't judge people
But yeah,
for it.
anytime I go online and stuff like that, I always give myself anywhere between a 4 to 7 grain cushion for glue.
Yeah. So before we wrap this up, what broadhead are you going to be using the rest of the season? Are you using any of the three blades, or are you sticking with the Omegas?
But all right. So I haven't talked to Ryan about this yet, but I lost one of the Omegas. So I'm only running 2 Omegas right now. Um, yeah, we're not gonna get into that.
How'd you
So
how'd you lose it? In a
wasn't
deer?
me. Nope, no. Let someone borrow.
Oh,
Let someone use.
yeah, it wouldn't have
Never,
been.
I never found it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why
Yeah,
you need that.
those Omegas are not cheap. So I won't be
I
doing that again.
I have an extra you can use because I
Omega?
yeah,
Okay.
I got just
Um,
remind me before I come up there in January and I'll bring it. I might even have it on
so
here. I might just give it to you.
I've got my quiver's got 2 Omegas, and then the other 3 arrows I pick and choose whatever I feel like putting on there.
I got you.
Whether it's another 2 blade or a single bevel or whether it's a 3 blade,
Yeah.
solid vented. I don't, I honestly I texted Ryan about it too. I want to try because no, he's told me that no one's ever done it, and I don't think no one's ever done it, but no one's ever done a video of it.
What?
Just because you won't lose any more kinetic energy than a mechanical will, but you'll still have a massive hole. I want to try the turkey spur on a deer.
I mean, if it's sharp, I don't see why not.
Oh yeah, it's stupid sharp.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see a
Yeah,
reason why not. It's not like,
I want to try that.
I mean, you have to think the tip of that is probably the same size as what's that one really little one? Super accurate, but it's a tiny hole. I can't remember the name of it. You wanted to shoot them. Annihilator. It's probably the
Yeah,
same size as an annihilator. So I mean,
yeah,
I don't think it's unethical. I mean,
right.
it it's almost no different than putting some razor blades that you've welded onto the tip of a broadhead and using that. So
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, if you get a chance again, I'm sure you probably already forgot, but go look at the turkey spur heads from VPA,
no, I know what
and
they look like.
I'm gonna try that on the deer.
That's a broadhead you don't forget how it looks because it looks so different
Yeah,
than literally everything else.
exactly.
Awesome, man. Well, look, I appreciate you coming on. We've been
Yeah, man.
going longer than I had expected us to, but
Hey, that's what we
I'm
do.
not complaining. Yeah. Um, I'm glad we didn't go down any rabbit holes this time. We almost did, but
Almost did.
there's there's a lot of stuff going on, in the
Oh,
industry that you and I are both.
January 6th, you coming up?
Yeah, we might we might be able to do the 13th if Thor gets that new job. We might be able to do the 13th.
Okay,
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The 6th. Yeah, the 13th. I can't do that. I don't know. I completely see. This is how my brain works, dude. I forget
right.
and then I get in trouble. But yeah, no, January 6th, I'm down. Um,
What about next week? You were talking about earlier coming up to Kennesaw for the Toys for Tot shoot.
uh, probably not. I think we've got
Okay.
something going on with my
Oh, you were talking about the just some other Kennesaw shoots.
yeah, I was talking about the ASA
Okay.
shoot. The
Okay.
not next week, but the one that's in like March or whatever, whenever that
Yeah.
is. Um, I will do my best to be there for that. I can't see why not. And then we'll I mean, you know me, dude. I'm not really a big target guy. I'll do it because it's fun, but I even told Ryan when we were talking about the Lancaster Classic that I just if we went, like if we go and he wants us to shoot, sure, I'll do it. I have to get a new
Yeah,
site, but I'll do it. And I'm thinking about switching sites anyway. I'm not I like the single pin stuff, but I don't like having to move it. You know what I mean? And it kind of
yeah,
I feel like if I switch after season, like when I get this new bow, which may make me end up getting the ready to hunt package and just keeping the sight that's on there. Because I think it comes with like a 4 pin or 3 pin or something. Um, I'm not a huge fan of having to move them because that's just more movement. It's if the deer
well,
moves, then I have
if
to
you're in if
guess
you're in the market if you're in the market for a fixed pin, I got one. Actually, I have two. So
what brand is it.
I've got a CBE, the Tactic Micro, the same one you
Yeah,
had.
yeah,
I've got that one. It's missing one pin, so it's only a 4 pin.
that's what I
Um,
would need.
and then I've got the other one I just took off, the React.
Mm, I'm shocked you took that off. Honestly,
Yeah, well, I got single pin now, so
I know, but still, I
yeah,
don't know. I go back to what Michael Waddell has said before is like, single pins and stuff, they're great. They're great for target shooting. They're great for ASA and or not ASA, like mountain archery
well,
fest.
yeah, I get that.
Well, yeah, but
Uh-huh.
I'm saying like you're just going for fun.
Yeah,
But a fixed pin, it I caught myself a couple
and
times this year.
that's my same argument with the fixed
Yeah,
pin too. I love them for hunting,
yeah,
but I'm starting now. I'm getting in the transition phase. Hunting is almost over. It's not over. It's almost over. I'm getting ready for a full year of or full off deer season of ASA and
yeah,
Mountain Archery Fest. So I'm starting to transition now. That way, come February when I'm actually ready for ASA, I'm not trying to redo a single pin right then.
yeah. Have you talked to Ryan more about the Lancaster stuff?
Yeah,
No, okay. I'll reach out
uh,
to him next week and see what's going on. Because I mean, like I said, I'm down. I told him too. When we talked, I was like, if JD wants to shoot, and I'm just not feeling it, dude. I'll help you work the booth. I'll go be his arrow boy. I don't care.
yeah,
I mean, I'm just there to do whatever we can.
right, exactly, exactly,
Um, because again, I'm a bow hunter first, and
yeah,
target shooting is fun, but I don't have any plans of being like the next Levi Morgan or anything like that. But there's
right,
nothing against it because it's good. It's good practice, especially when it's 3D. I mean, I remember doing the 3D shoot with you last year, and I've never felt more confident after that. I wish it was
yep,
closer to deer season because I
yeah,
maybe wouldn't have missed or not
maybe,
missed, but made a bad shot. But
yeah,
it is what it is. Shit happens.
yeah. It is what it is. Yeah, I mean, hey,
Um,
that last one, Thanksgiving Day, 50 yards. That's nothing. We've shot that plenty of times.
yeah,
I ended up spawning her. So,
yeah. Did she duck the arrow?
all right. So I've heard some misconceptions as far as what they're actually doing. But this is another rabbit hole. Never mind.
You can bring it
As
up.
far as a deer ducking,
Okay. I'm good
um,
with it.
so they're not ducking your bow. They're not ducking. Well, in essence, they're not ducking the bow. They're not ducking the string. They're not ducking the arrow. It is their body's natural reaction to change.
Hmm.
If they if they are within, you know, 40 yards, yeah, they're okay. They're ducking your bow. Yeah, but it's not them ducking it because they know it's coming. It's just that's their alert, duck real
Yeah.
quick. But it's their natural body. Their body just naturally pulls down to
Yeah.
contract all the muscles so they can leap back off and spring forward.
Yep. Seen
That
it
that's
quite
what
a
it
few
is.
times.
Now, at 60, 70 yards, they're not ducking your bow. That at that point they're reacting because they're hearing the arrow come.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's a hard pitch for me to sit there and say, oh, they're ducking the string every single time. And no, depends on how far out you are,
Yeah.
and just it depends on the deer too. Some of them in like suburban areas are more acute to noise. They're just going to stand there, and just take the hit.
Yep.
But if you're out there and Wild West somewhere, there you got 100 acres. Of course, yeah, they're going to duck your string. But
Yeah.
it's if it's within 50 yards, they're ducking your string. If not, they're just ducking the arrow.
I mean, I've shot at 4 deer. Is it 4 deer? Yeah, 4 deer in the past two years. The first one I missed because I used the wrong pin and she did duck. I mean,
Mm,
the pin was on
mm,
her, but it would have hit her high, like probably would have spined her to be honest, which I'm glad it
yeah,
didn't. She did duck. She was also 10 yards. So, and
yeah.
it was with the blackout. It was not a quiet bow. And then Pickles comes along, 18 yards, blackout. He didn't really duck, but he did kind of drop a little bit. So,
Hmm.
and it was a quarter away. I mean, it was, everybody knows the story. And then that doe that I shot earlier this year that survived did not move. And she was at 25
Yeah.
yards. Now,
Yep.
I don't know if it's because the bear is quieter. I don't know if it's the fletching choice that I made. I don't know what the reason was. Still
Right.
a bad shot. I shot too high, or not too high, but I didn't hit the mark I was aiming at. Um, and then the doe that I killed didn't move 25 yards. Bad
Yep.
shot because the broadhead opened up, but again,
Yeah.
she didn't move. So I guess I say all that to basically bring up the point that, we're never going to have a dead silent system. We're never going to have something that they
Hmm.
won't hear. And every single deer is different. I have
Yep.
literally seen deer do what you just said, the duck and roll or the, spring
Hmm.
and pop kind of thing. It's not even for me shooting. I've watched them just play around. And if one
Yep.
deer steps on a twig, they all do it.
Yeah.
If a
They all do
squirrel,
it. Yeah.
yeah, if a squirrel jumps out of a tree or two squirrels are fighting and they make a bunch of
Yep.
noise, the deer do it. So,
Yep.
I mean, you're right. It is a natural reaction. It's just what they do. So, I'll also say though that they do hear our bows. They do hear the arrows. Like you were saying, longer distances, of course they're going to hear it. I've literally
Yep.
sat or stood next to somebody, maybe 10 yards away, far enough off, I'm not going to get hit, but I wanted to hear the arrow. And it's literally a, so
Yep.
imagine what that sounds like coming towards you. You're going to
Oh
hear
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, man. Again, we could go down that rabbit hole. We'll be here another 2 hours if we do it.
Right.
But man, look, I appreciate it. You're my boy. It's always fun having you come on here. Do a little bit
Oh
of
yeah.
shameless plug real quick. Just whatever's coming
Shameless
up.
plug. You want me to plug me or plug you? Because we both work for the same company.
Well, I don't want you plugging me. So yeah, yeah. Go plug yourself. Let's do
Go
that.
plug yourself. All
Yeah.
right. I'm gonna plug myself. All right,
No,
y'all.
what
Go make sure you check out. No.
yeah, yeah. What's coming down the pipeline for Southeastern Bowhunter TV? I mean, that name in itself, I love it. I never even would have thought of it.
Sounds good. Sounds good,
Pure
doesn't it?
pure genius. But like what's coming along in the next few weeks? I know you're gonna go hunt this weekend probably and film.
Yep.
Um, you do have that 7 point that keeps showing up and playing games. So I mean, are you gonna kill him this weekend?
Yep.
Are we gonna finally see a buck on the
I
ground for the group?
don't.
Or
I don't know. I'm always hunting behind them with the camera, so I don't know.
I gotcha.
It's just one of those. I'm gonna have to mentally, honestly. I want to go in. I want to stop thinking about it and just go sit. It's what I want to try and do mentally. But as far as what's coming down the line, yeah, I got some hunts coming up. I've got next weekend. I've got the Toys for Tot shoot coming up. February. I've got Foley coming up. My first national event.
So you already
So,
skipped something very important.
oh, January.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I
Sorry.
mean, come on, man.
I'm in ASA mode already, man. I'm telling you.
See, I can tell. I can tell.
Yeah.
So
So
what's happening in
January
January?
January 6th, me, you, and the rest of our fangirl group of the Southeastern Bow Hunter group on Facebook.
Fangirl group.
Um, they're all coming up, and we're gonna do a Doe Fest or Domageddon, whatever you want to call it,
Or
up
kill
on
a
my
buck.
property,
Or kill a buck.
or kill a buck, yeah, whatever.
Except Ian. Ian's
We're
out for
all
this.
group. It's a group deer hunt. How about that?
There you go.
But we're trying. I'm trying to get y'all to kill a doe, but we'll see
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
happens.
Well, I mean, I already told you, man. Like, unless I don't see me killing 2 bucks this year. I really don't. At first I did. Now I just don't see it. If I get the chance at Curly, he's dead. I haven't seen Tank. Tank could be dead. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I know that we're trying to wrap this up, but I got to tell you this. I was talking to a buddy of mine, Brock, the guy that came on 2 weeks ago, and he's in Michigan, and he's been hunting for God his whole life. And I sent him a photo of Tank and was saying, "Oh, I think he might be like 4, maybe 5." He thinks he's 6, just based off of the body, based off of deer he's seen that he knows are 6 years old.
Yeah,
Um, so he could be dead. I mean, I today found another hunter, um, maybe I'm not gonna say a quarter mile, maybe like an eighth of a mile from where I'm hunting at, and so that's 4 hunters in this 3 to 500 acres that these deer live on. He could be gone. I mean, hell, he could show
yeah,
up right now and wouldn't even know it, but I don't know. So if I'm able to make it up there, which I should be able to, and any buck except Ian shows up, or that's 7. I mean, if you put him on the list, that's fine. But any buck is dead. If that little
yeah.
forky
No,
played those games last
the
year,
only one the only one I've got on my list as far as granted, I haven't seen him in a month, month and a half,
hasn't
but
been that long.
yeah, it
Really?
has. Yeah.
No, I thought he just showed up like 2 weeks ago. Didn't you send us a photo of him?
No, no. I sent you a photo of a new split brow.
Oh, maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Okay.
a new split brow 9, a new one
Let me
that
go
showed
back
up.
and
But
look.
it was just one picture, and that was it. He just kind of came in and left. I haven't seen him since.
I'm looking back right now. I'm trying to
No,
see.
last time I put eyes on Ian was November 8th.
November
That
8th.
was when
Wow.
November 8th. He was rutting, chasing a doe. I saw him nose to tail on that doe at 35 yards. He never stopped, and he was in a so thick brush I couldn't shoot. And that was the last time I saw him.
Dang, dude. I guess you didn't. Yeah, I guess you didn't send us one.
Mm-mm.
Huh.
So I don't know where he went, but yeah, he's the only one right now that's on my main do not shoot list.
Dang, dude. I must have just seen the photo and thought it was him because
Yeah,
I'm looking back right now and I'm not seeing. All I'm seeing is that 7. Well, dang, man. That sucks. Don't worry,
yeah,
I'll come for you.
yeah,
I'm kidding. I
yeah.
wouldn't do that. Awesome, man. Well, look, I'm gonna let you get to your nightly duties, and
Hey
I'm
man,
gonna spend
I
time with
got a
the
lot to do.
family. Yeah, you do. It sounds like you do.
Hmm.
But yeah, let me know. When you shoot those arrows with the broadheads. I want to know if the flight's any different. I don't think it's going to be based off the numbers we've gone over, but um, it's definitely something to think about. When I upgrade because I kind of have been wanting to jump up to 500, especially since I'll be able to. So I might get with Ryan about getting some 150s. But I don't know, man. I mean, I kind of don't want to slow down too
I
much,
mean,
you know?
if I like these arrows and all that kind of stuff, then you know me. I've got some 500s that I've been shooting that you're more than welcome to have.
True. But those are also standard size, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No, dude, I'm a huge fan of the 204s now. Honestly, that's probably the only size I'm going to use. I was looking
Yeah.
at getting some deer crossing archery arrows, um, but after getting these Rip TKOs, I think that's going to be my arrow until they discontinue it,
All
and
right.
then
So
until
how much are 6 of the in a box? Just buying the box. six pack. How much are the Rip TKOs?
115 or 120, something like that.
You
Yeah, I mean they're
realize
not
because
cheap.
you realize because mine doesn't say Rip TKO on it, they're 79.99 for a box.
Yeah, but are yours the weaved carbon?
Okay, it's the Rip, not the Rip TKO.
Okay, then. See, I like the weave carbon. I've always wanted
Because
Arizona.
it's pretty.
Yeah, dude. Look, I've said on this podcast, I am big on looks. I shouldn't be, but I am. I want my stuff to look right. So
So what happened to
here's what it
you?
is. Huh?
That's why you like the stuff for the looks because you don't have them.
Exactly. I gotta compensate.
Gotcha.
I have to
Gotcha.
compensate.
Okay.
That's
Makes
why I have a
sense now.
lifted truck. That's why, we okay, look, I'm done doing this. Don't tell people. Nah, yeah, man. I mean, I think the Rip TKOs will probably be what I stick with, unless something comes along and I see something better. But they've got that ice coating. They're strong. They're not going to break. Um, MFJJ likes them. That's enough of a
I'll be
reason.
honest. I'll be honest with you. If it wasn't for the price point, I would be on those two because they are a proven product from
Yeah.
everybody you see. So if it wasn't for the price point, I'd be all over them too.
See, if you do it like I do it and just get them a little at a time, it's really not that bad. I only spent $30. I mean, granted, that's
On
fifteen
what?
dollars
One
an
arrow?
arrow, huh?
On what? One arrow?
Two.
Two? Oh,
Yeah, I'm just saying. You only need six. That's all
I
I
need
need to do.
12.
I don't need 12. Look, you know how many arrows I've got. I don't need more than that. I have an entire
Yeah, I
box.
know how many. I know how many you have because I gave you 90% of yours.
Exactly. Exactly. And I already had like 20 arrows after that or before that. So,
Yep.
but anyway, look, we're just BSing now. So, anyway, man, tell the family I said hi. Good luck this
We'll do it.
season or this weekend.
You too, buddy.
I'm sure I'm going to talk to you in the next 10 minutes anyway, but
Yeah.
this was fun and I really, I feel like we need to do this once a month so people can, hear what you're doing, especially when you start the ASA stuff, because that
Okay.
might end up getting me into it more. Off season is depressing for all of us. So if there's any way I can get to, be outside doing that, I might take advantage of it. Going to fully
Yeah.
Alabama, kind of a stretch. Going to Illinois, definitely not going to happen. But the Georgia,
Kentucky.
Kentucky, maybe, probably not.
Vegas.
Maybe. Where?
Vegas.
I don't need to go to Vegas. Jessica just got back and she told me everything about it. I don't need to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
is too much over there. I'd get into some trouble or just
Yep.
be depressed the whole time. But anyway, man, I appreciate it. It's always fun having you
All right,
on.
man.
And
All right.
we need to do this more.
All right, man. Sounds good.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it.
Assalamu alaikum.
I'm not I'm I'm a Christian, sir. So I don't know what that means. I
That was
anyway.
not unchristian like. Bye.
Bye.